going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 4 of the DownSouthPackers Podcast with me, your host, Anthony Boyd. Today, we're going to be going over a recap of the Giants and Packers game from this past Sunday. I'm going to go over some of the things that I saw when I rewatched the game, some things that stuck out to me that we didn't catch initially on the broadcast, and just go over what positives I saw on offense and defense, what negatives I saw as well, and then a little bit about special teams as well. And then after that, we're going to transition into looking a little ahead at the Vikings and Packers game, go over some things that I noticed from the Vikings' most recent game against the Bears, and then where I think the Packers might match up well with them or where the Packers might have some trouble with them as well. So before we get into it, I want to thank you all for stopping to watch this video. I really appreciate it. Trying to get this off the ground. I would appreciate it if you just like and subscribe to the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It means a lot to me. This is something that I want to do moving forward, and I want to cover the Packers. I really love football, so if you can just take a second and do that, and hopefully at the end of the video you have some feedback that you want to give or some things that you might want to add to the conversation. So no further ado, we're going to hop into it. So going over this Giants and Packers game, obviously the Packers they won, so I was extremely happy to watch this film, try to see what they did well in this game. Obviously, with the loss, it's not easy to watch the film and turn that on and try to see what went wrong. But in a win, it's a little easier to watch the film. But there are some things that the Packers can still improve upon. But looking at this one, I think a key takeaway is that Jordan Love is a baller. Jordan Love played a great game. I know the stats aren't going to say it. He was, 13 for 24 for 174 and 2 touchdowns, but had a 105.2 passer rating. I'm not going to be upset with that. I think that's a pretty good game considering there were some drops on the offense, and there's room to improve with that. I think Jordan, for the most part, played a really good game. He showed his running ability too. I think there was a zone read that he kept the ball on and picked up a few yards. Ended up being short on third down. Kind of wish he would try to fall forward in those situations instead of sliding right at the line to gain. But I'm proud to see that he is active and mobile again. That's something that obviously was missing in his game last year. He didn't have the ability to run with that knee injury and the groin injury that he sustained. So it's good to see him running the football again, having that part of his game. It's not a Malik Willis. He can't run like Malik Willis, but just still being a viable threat to run. And we also saw just how he was able to extend some plays on Sunday. There were a few times where the offensive line broke down relatively fast, and he had to get out of there and make a play. The drop to Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs was running across the field on, I don't know if it was a dig or a deep crosser, but Jordan had pressure in his face up the middle from Dexter Lawrence because it looked like there was a miscommunication on the offensive line with Jordan Morgan. I think Jordan Morgan he slid left, like the prediction called for a slide to the left, but really I think he should have just blocked the man that's in front of him, and by him sliding out to the left, he ended up opening a big gaping hole. Shout out AQ Shipley, Pat McAfee, big gaping hole for Dexter Lawrence to run through, and he wreaked havoc in the backfield. Jordan Love rolls out, makes a man miss, and ends up he hits Romeo Doubs in the hands, he drops it. But I was happy to see that Jordan Love is able to use his legs and extend those plays like that. So I do think that's a vital piece of his game, and it's a reason why he is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'm happy to see that. I will say when he runs, I would like him to avoid major hits. I don't want to see him taking hits like the one he took on Sunday. Try to get out of bounds there, or really just throw the ball away at that point. Don't take a hit like that. We need you at quarterback. You get paid a lot of money to play quarterback for the Packers. Please stay healthy, Jordan. Please. Made a few beautiful throws. The one throw on the deep, I think that was a dig, not a dig, but a crosser to Romeo Doubs where the linebacker started to undercut it, but because Jordan had a little bit of touch, floats it up over the linebacker. That was beautiful. The throw that he had to Matthew Golden on the broken play where he steps up to run and he gets the corner to bite on his run, and Matthew Golden beats the safety in one-on-one and gets open. Big completion of Matthew Golden. And then obviously the touchdown ball to Christian Watson. Those are all beautiful throws by Jordan on Sunday. And stats nerds who just look at box scores are going to say that he had a bad game. But if you actually watch the game, you understand Jordan played a great game. I think the run game was decent. I think run blocking was okay. I think pass protection, it was good for the most part. It was decent. The run blocking was decent too. I think the main thing that I noticed on the film, watching it back with the running backs, is just Emmanuel Wilson and Josh Jacobs have a great ability to uh, manipulate the second level guys, the linebacker safeties, just with their eyes. Getting up to the line after the handoff, going one way, and then immediately cutting the other way into the rushing lane. And there were some pretty good rushing lanes on the film. Getting through the rushing lanes and picking up some yards. I think that ability and then bursting through the hole. That's how Emmanuel Wilson scored his touchdown, was manipulating the linebacker. So that was something that stuck out in the run game. The run game's still not great. It's not as dominant as it was last year, but it's okay. It's okay. I hope Matt doesn't continue to try to force feed it though. Let's not continue to try to push it. I think we saw when you put the ball in Jordan's hand, he can go win for you. I do think that there should be some extensions from the run game, like the play action pass. I want to see that open up because I think the Packers are really good at that. As long as you have a run game that's serviceable, I think that'll at least keep those linebackers honest. And with Watson back and Reed posted today that he's going to be coming back soon from IR, I think we're going to see more of that kind of game open up for the Packers, and we'll see this team be a little more deadly heading into the end of November and heading into January when the most meaningful football is being played, especially in the NFC North with the schedule that the Packers have coming up. Josh Jacobs had 7 carries for 40 yards. Emmanuel Wilson had 11 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. Nothing to write home about. Obviously, Josh went out early with the knee injury. It's okay. It's not a 100-yard rusher. It's not a crazy game on the ground, but it was enough to kind of get the job done. If you look at the film, the linebackers were at least respecting the run game. They weren't retreating as soon as they had the ability to, and I think that opened up a lot for the offense down the field later in the game. Pass catchers struggled, except for Christian Watson. He had a pretty good game. Other than that, though, the receivers were having a day with their hands. A lot of drops on Sunday, and that's something that I hope doesn't start rearing its ugly head again. Obviously, last year the Packers had a huge problem with drops, hurt the team pretty badly in a few games. So hopefully the Packers can get that cleaned up. Romeo Doubs especially. I love Romeo Doubs, one of my favorite receivers the Packers have ever had, just because I like the way that he plays. I enjoy the way that he plays personally. But hopefully he can get that cleaned up. Obviously, Christian Watson, like I said, had a great game. 4 catches for 46 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good game. Not a 100-yard game or anything, but the catches that he made were huge. The catch from Malik Willis, where honestly watching it for the first time on Sunday on TV, I couldn't even tell where the ball was. And then they said touchdown, and I was excited about it. But looking back at it, Christian had strong hands, held on to the ball, through a defender's arm. That was nice to see. And then him going up and high pointing the ball, scoring in the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. I think that I like to see when he is aggressive with his hands sometimes. And he hasn't had this issue this year, but last year especially, I think he had a tendency to kind of let the ball come to him. He'd have a few moments like the Chiefs game where a couple years ago, the Chiefs game where they were in Lambeau, where he went up over the defender and caught it. I think Christian sometimes would have a tendency last year, though, to let the ball come to him and it'd get broken up. The DB would be able to make a play on the ball. So to see him being the aggressor in that situation, going up, getting that ball and securing it, I was happy to see that. And I think Christian's taking a step forward in that way. Jordan Love obviously trusts him. He went to him a few times on Sunday where needed some pretty big plays, and they have a great connection with one another, obviously. Same connections there with Romeo Doubs. Romeo just was not converting on Sunday. He could not hold on to the football. Again, I hope he can figure that out. Luke Musgrave, he's struggling as a pass catcher right now. I don't know what it is. I think that he should be using him more of a vertical way versus using him as a rack guy. I don't think that fits his game that much right now. And then Matthew Golden had a few opportunities. He had 3 targets on Sunday, had the 1 catch that I spoke about earlier where Jordan rolled out and got it to him. He had the deep bomb. I think Jordan underthrew that one. It was windy, so I don't know if the wind caught it and Jordan wasn't able to get it to him. And then another deep ball where it could have floated with the wind and went off track from where Matthew was. But he got and the Giants were in cover 2, and both of the deep shots that he had, he ran past the corner in the flat and had the safety one-on-one, and Jordan, the safety was out of position both times. Jordan had him both times where he chucked it down there to him, but the deep pass, it didn't connect on Sunday. I think Matthew Golden will continue to get his opportunities. It's obvious that he has a great skill set, but fitting into this offense, it's going to continue to take time. He is a rookie. Most rookies don't come in and have drastic first seasons, especially not with the Packers. You can be a first-round pick and barely make an impact. We have first-round picks that sit for an entire year pretty much, like they're red shirts. That's just how the Packers do things. And for most rookies, again, that's not normal for them to come in and have 1,000-yard seasons. Let's temper our expectations for Matthew Golden. I think he's going to be just fine. I think Matt LaFleur is going to work him in here. It's a deep receiver room right now. Everyone's kind of getting fed. So let's just calm down on the Matthew Golden train. Hopping over to the defense. Still playing a bend but don't break defense. That's just the way the Halfleys played it all year. Something that I noticed, and I think I started noticing it more in the Eagles game. I think I noticed it live, but also when I watched the film from the Eagles game. The Packers will have two safeties, obviously Williams and McKinney most of the time. In the red zone, sometimes you'll get Bullard in there, but kind of have them staggered in a sense. And then at pre-snap, one of them's normally walking down either towards the way that a top receiver was. So against the Eagles, they'd do it and they'd walk down McKinney and have him kind of shaded towards where A.J. Brown was. On the touchdown that Devontae Smith scored, Packers were in like a cover 3, and McKinney walks down. A.J. Brown runs a dig. McKinney's covering the dig, and then Evan Williams just got beat across his face for the touchdown. And Carrington Valentine was focused on the dig because it came from – he was at that point because they motioned Jahan Dotson. A.J. Brown was the lone receiver over there with Carrington Valentine. Valentine ran him into the walk down McKinney. And now you have one-on-one pretty much with Devontae Smith and Evan Williams. And Evan Williams was out of position and took a pretty bad angle and got beat. But that's something the Packers have been doing, though, is just kind of walking the safety down. Making sure it seems like they're trying to do it to assist in the run game. Because when the safeties are coming downhill, they're pretty aggressive. At some points, you'll see Bullard, especially in the red zone, he's full-on blitzing down into the box. He's not just creeping. McKinney kind of creeps down and hangs out a little bit, kind of watching a little bit more, but it's something that the Packers have been doing. I'm not against it. I'm okay with it, especially on Sunday. If they want to pull that one out against the Vikings, I wouldn't be against it. Walk them down and kind of help shade Justin Jefferson a little bit. I'm sure they'll continue to do that, but I think the extra bodies in the run game have been what they've been trying to do, trying to help slow down the run game since we've getting ran on pretty much the whole season. Quinshon Judkins had a good game in the Browns game. Obviously, Rico Dowdle had a huge game against the Panthers. Saquon actually didn't do too much, but Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy both had pretty good games. I think they both, one rushed for 80, Tyrone Tracy rushed for 88, and Devin Singletary rushed for 40. So they had 128 yards rushing between the two of them. Got to figure out the interior of the defensive line to get that slowed down. Can't keep letting people run the ball on you because that's what teams are going to want to do. They want to play clock management with the Packers. That's what it seems like. They don't want to let this Packers offense get back on the field because they know they have the ability to score points. The way to beat this Packers offense is to keep them off the field. It seems like teams are very content with trying to do that. And with our style of defense, it's going to happen. You're playing a lot of zone. You're sitting back, just making sure you don't let a deep play get behind you. But in turn, by doing that, you're giving up a lot of time where teams can hold on to the ball and play ball control. It's hard to watch as a fan sometimes because it feels like you're hopeless. You're helpless, I should say. And you could just watch the team just methodically get marched on. And these veteran quarterbacks that the Packers have played all season have been very good at methodically marching down the field against this zone coverage, finding the soft spots, going right behind linebackers with dig routes. Because, in my opinion, I don't know how it's coached. I can't say. I don't know everybody's responsibility. But Edgerrin Cooper and Quay won't sink deep enough whenever they're dropping back, whether it's a cover, normally not a cover 3, but like a quarters look, they're not sinking deep enough, and then what happens is a dig gets behind them. I'd personally like to see them kind of turn and locate where the receivers are so they can have a better feel. I feel like when they're retreating, they don't really have a feel of where someone's at, and then you get the digs behind them. I think Jalen Hyatt ran a deep curl from the slot on Sunday and caught one on him, but I think that was on McDuffie. I'm pretty sure at that point. Quay Walker was probably out, but I think McDuffie gave up one because, again, linebackers don't really have a feel of where the receiver is at that point. So I'd prefer them turn around and look a little bit versus just strictly having eyes on the quarterback. I get it, but Jameis Winston wasn't a rushing threat, so I would have been okay with them turning their heads for a split second and getting back, just to make sure that we don't give up deep digs and things of that nature. I think Micah had a great game, pass rush-wise. I think he obviously got home 2 times where we needed him to. It was two big stops both the times that he got home, closing out the game there. But I did notice that the Giants seem to rush at Micah at times. It seems like, and I'm not saying what Jerry Jones said because I think that's kind of silly, but I think Micah can sometimes be super aggressive, and with his aggressiveness, teams are okay with him rushing super hard upfield because they're just going to run right behind where he was at. And I think that's how Tyrone Tracy, or was it Devin Singletary that scored the first touchdown? I think that's how they scored, was because Micah was very aggressive upfield, kind of went and replaced where he was and scored the touchdown. So I'm okay with his pass rush. I love it. I just don't know. Maybe it's a run fit thing with linebackers. You want to see them fit the gaps a little bit better so that you don't have those issues. But yeah, have to stop the run. The run's been an issue. Stopping the run's been an issue all year. Don't know what the main fix is. Just gotta man up a little bit more on the inside. It's a lot of inside runs that are hurting the Packers, and obviously just dink and dunking down the field. Cornerback play I think was okay on Sunday. I think Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon for the most part had a decent game. Keyshawn Nixon struggled a few times. He got beat by a tight end, and then got beat by the receiver. Was it Isaiah Hodgins? I believe. I don't even know the receiver at this point. That's kind of sad. But he was getting beat on a few routes that. And they were I think they were in a quarters look, and Hodgins ran an in-breaking route, and Keyshawn Nixon was like 10 yards off of him, and he still got beat. Like, how? He ate up his space and then still let him beat him inside. I thought Nixon had the leverage on that rep, and he still got beat. But I think Bullard's better. Bullard's great, not great. Bullard's getting really good man coverage. I like to see that, and I love having Bullard on the field too, just because of how hard he plays. He's super aggressive, and I think the Packers defense needs somebody like that. Hopefully, Lucas Van Ness can come back soon too. We need some additional help on pass rushing because I don't know what's going on with Rashawn Gary. Apparently, Packers Twitter saying he's not on the field much. I haven't looked too much into it, but Packers Twitter's telling me that he's not on the field as much as he should be for someone who's getting paid as much as he's getting paid. If that's the case, Rashawn, please get on the field, brother. We need you. Need some pass rush. Need you to be effective while you're pass rushing as well. Don't just eat up space. But yeah, the Packers defense I think is okay. It's in a good spot. Give up a good bit of yards. Just don't give up points. That's fine. I prefer to force some more turnovers. And I think that's where I'm going to start transitioning now into this, looking ahead to this Vikings game. The Packers get to play the Vikings on Sunday, which we get to play 9, as he likes to call himself. I think it's kind of corny, but 9 on Sunday, and the Packers have an opportunity to turn him over. J.J. McCarthy, I believe, has 9 interceptions on the season. He has 9 interceptions on the season in 6 games. That's good, I guess. I don't know, kind of bad. But J.J. McCarthy turns the ball over. He can be turnover prone. He loves to force the ball down the field. The Packers just need to convert whenever those chances come about. Obviously, the Packers had 4 dropped interceptions on Sunday. But if J.J. McCarthy's forcing downfield, the Packers need to take advantage, get the ball back. Obviously, forcing turnovers hadn't been the Packers' biggest strong suit so far this season. But J.J. McCarthy's giving you the opportunity, so you have to take advantage. And I think he will. I think he'll have his struggles sometimes with the Packers. I think when I was watching the Vikings film back against the Bears this past Sunday, I talked about how the Packers will stagger safeties, kind of walk either McKinney or Bullard down. Not McKinney or Bullard, but McKinney or Evan Williams down, and kind of do like a robber type look, and let them kind of free flow and feel it out and follow the quarterback's eyes. Kevin Byard's interception, the first interception J.J. McCarthy threw on Sunday, Byard walked down. He had a feel on a crosser, but then he felt J.J. McCarthy's eyes going the other way, and then lo and behold, it was Justin Jefferson on a dig route coming behind him. He sunk to the dig, caught the pick. So J.J. didn't see him. So I think there's opportunity for an Xavier McKinney to get an interception on Sunday. I think this pass rush has an opportunity to kind of get going a little bit. I saw that the Montez Sweat just manhandled the left tackle from the Vikings. I don't believe it's Christian Darrisaw. I don't know if Christian Darrisaw's back yet. I didn't check too hard. I don't care that much about the Vikings offensive line. But whoever the left tackle was, Montez Sweat pushed him with one arm and went to get a sack of J.J. McCarthy. So I think there's opportunity for this team to be aggressive and get home on this Vikings offensive line. J.J. McCarthy's not that good of a quarterback yet. I'm not going to write the man off, but he's not that good of a quarterback yet. He puts the ball in harm's way. He threw 2 interceptions on Sunday. Could have been 3. The Bears dropped one, just like the Packers dropped one with Keyshawn Nixon and Xavier McKinney, where 2 guys are running into each other trying to catch it. So I think there's an opportunity for the Packers defense to get going on that front. Obviously, the Vikings have our former running back and Aaron Jones, and they have Jordan Mason as well. Jordan Mason's more of the bruiser back. Obviously, Aaron's Aaron, kind of a scat back type of guy without scat back guy speed. I think they're okay as a running duo. This is not a great rushing offense. They're not going to run for 120 yards on you. That's just not what they do. They're just going to kind of use the run wherever they can. The Vikings do a little play action off of it, try to get J.J. McCarthy some easy stuff out in the flat. They throw tight end screens to Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson and the matchup on him will be a big part of this game. I think Quay Walker's pass coverage versus guarding somebody like Hawkinson who can be a threat in the middle of the field, I think that's something to watch out for. I think Quay can do well in that scenario. I think he'll be fine, but I think it's something to look out for. Hawkinson's a safety blanket, obviously, as a tight end, and J.J. McCarthy might be looking for him a lot, so look out for that one. But, yeah, the run game for the Vikings isn't that great. Not too concerned. I think the Packers' run defense can slow them down. If Aaron Jones, I keep calling him AJ. If Aaron Jones breaks free, I don't see him running for a 70-yard touchdown on the Packers because his top-end speed is just not there. I think we all remember it from the Packers in the Niners game, trying to cut back he's about to get caught, but I don't know why he decided to cut back. We remember those moments with Aaron Jones. We love you, Aaron Jones. You're my wife's favorite. She still has your jersey and signature or whatever. Like, she's a huge Aaron Jones fan. We love you, man. But on Sunday, we obviously have to go against you. Our offense going against their defense, obviously, it's a Brian Flores defense. They have a future Hall of Famer, Isaiah Harrison Smith, on the other side. They have a great corner in Byron Murphy Jr., who could clamp aside. Isaiah Rodgers, I believe, will be playing on Sunday opposite of Byron Murphy, who, when Isaiah Rodgers gets the ball at his hand after a turnover, you better turn full speed and go the other way, because he is a threat to go score the ball after he gets it. So they have some pieces on their defense, and they have former Packer Eric Wilson at linebacker. This is the matchup of this game for me, in my opinion. I believe it is their defense versus our offense, and who's going to be more dominant and try to win it. Brian Flores is obviously super aggressive in his defensive play calling. He goes double mug looks, bringing blitzes. He'll bail out of him, go to some zone. He will have his corners press receivers and jam them and throw off the time in the routes. And I think that's all normal with the Brian Flores defense. I think this Packers team has seen it. I think last year at Lambeau and the Vikings really got into our grill and mess with us. They were able to play their physical form of defense and win that game. I think it had the team rattled. I think Jordan Love threw a few interceptions in that game. It just was not an overall good game. And I think that the Packers should be better prepared for it this time. Hopefully receivers can win on their routes. I think that's something to look out for. I'm not Malik Heath, I'm sorry, but Dontavian Wicks, I think his ability to get open off the release will be super important. I think Romeo Dobbs will have to get off of man coverage if possible. They run some cover 2 too. They'll jam you and kind of sit there in the flat, but just being able to get off of the ball will be huge in this game. Christian Watson, obviously, that's going to be a huge part of the game. Make sure that Jordan Love can play in rhythm and on time. Not letting a corner completely throw off your time. And there's plenty of times where I'm watching that Bears-Vikings film where the timing's disrupted because the corners are being really physical downfield, getting their hands on receivers, and Caleb Williams is sitting back there waiting for somebody to get open. And by the time they're getting open, they're at the sideline or they don't really have a clear window for him to throw it into. I will say that it seemed like the intermediate area of the field could get open as long as the offensive line's holding up. I told you Brian Flores is going to be aggressive. He's going to send some blitzes. I think he knows that the interior of the Packers offensive line is a question mark. So I'm sure we'll see some exotic stunts and blitzes from linebackers in order to try to get home on the Packers. So I hope the offensive line's ready to play. I hope I think they played decent, like I said, decent on Sunday, but against this defense, there's going to be some crazy things that they see that I don't know if they've seen all year. I hope that we can use Chris Brooks on Sunday as a pass protector. He's obviously really good on third down situations where we know we're about to get pressured. Chris Brooks, we saw it on Sunday. He gave Jordan enough time to get a ball off to Savion. So hopefully Chris Brooks can be there, give us that extra level of blocking in the backfield. That'll be huge. Like I said, the offense needs to be productive. The offensive line will need to be productive. And I said that they know that the Packers' offensive line can be vulnerable. Matt LaFleur, I think, will need to trust Jordan and let him throw the ball. Like I said earlier, I don't want to force the run. The run was okay this past Sunday against the Giants. I don't think you need to force it. DeAndre Swift had a few. I think he went 20 carries for 70 yards or so. I don't know if you want to force the run or 20 carries for 90 yards, something like that. But I don't think you want to force the run against this defense. Let Jordan throw it. And I know in order for Jordan to throw it, the offensive line's going to have to block. Your game match trust. But I do think that Jordan can excel against cover 2. I think he noticed it a few times that the Giants ran it. He kind of licked his chops and made the right read on him. A couple of those times, like I said earlier, were to Matthew Golden, so unfortunately they weren't converted due to the wind and ball kind of getting hung up in the air. But I think Jordan Love can feast on some of these coverages that the Vikings like to run. Like I said, with the Packers linebackers, where I feel like they don't retreat deep enough to sink back into their zones. They don't have a feel for what's around them. I think the same can be true for the Vikings linebackers looking at them on film. They're not getting back deep enough, and then you have another route coming behind them. It can get right over their head, or the window will be open to throw it in. I think the Packers have an opportunity to exploit that and take advantage of it. Intermediate passes will be there. So hopefully the Packers can take advantage of that. Like I said, the Bears use some play action on them, and because they're so aggressive at the second level that they want to come up and be downhill, play hard, stop the run type guys, what happens is the linebackers come up, they're kind of frozen, and then there's other routes open. So hopefully they play the Packers that same way, or if they know that we don't have a running game, they might not. They're a smart defense. This is coached by Brian Flores. He's a good defensive coordinator. We'll see how he decides to go about it, but hopefully we get a Packers win on Sunday. I might be doing another video, probably not. Probably won't do another video. I'll probably do a recap video after Sunday's game. Let me know what comments you have about the Packers, either from the Giants game or what you're seeing going into this Vikings game. What are your takes? What is your score predictions for this next game? Go ahead, and if you haven't already, again, please subscribe to the channel. Like any kind of feedback in the comment section about the video, what you think, either about the content, about what I'm doing, what I can do better. I'm all ears to anything. I love the Packers. I love trying to start doing content with you guys. So if you can give me any kind of feedback, I'd appreciate it. I love you guys. and I will see you. I'll probably release a video midweek next week as well. Love you guys again. Go Pack Go.